everybody, welcome back to our channel, kaviwebdesigns. Today we're going to be continuing with the JavaScript e-course. Previously we have learned about JavaScript deconstructing and regular expression. Today we're going to learn about JavaScript arrow function and JavaScript classes. So we're going to start with our first chapter, which is JavaScript arrow function. Arrow functions were introduced in ES6. Arrow functions allow us to write shorter function syntaxes. So, as you can see over here, is a syntax of a arrow function. So first we have declared a variable called my function and assign it the value of an arrow function. So this is what an arrow function looks like. So we are equals to the parameters and then this arrow symbol and then a times b. So this is what an arrow function looks like. So as you can see over here, here's a comparison between arrow function and without arrow function. So as you can see, here's a function without the arrow function. So here, as you can see over here we have written function and then written hello world. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see over here, we have first declared a variable called hello and given the value of an empty string. And then we are reassigning the value of hello to a function with no parameters. So as you can see over here we are returning hello world, and this is a self-calling function. So this will automatically call itself and return this over here. And then as you can see over here, we're using document.getElementBinary method. We're getting the ID of demo and updating the HTML content inside this paragraph over here to this function over here called hello. So now when you run this using Chrome, as you can see, we'll get the result as hello world. So now let's look at what an arrow function looks like. So now here's an example of us using the arrow function. So as you can see over here, we have first declared a variable called hello and given it the value of an empty string. Then we have reassigned the variable hello to an arrow function. So as you can see over here, this arrow function doesn't have any parameters. So that's why we just leave it as this over here. And then we're using the arrow sign to indicate that it is an arrow function. And then we're using curly brackets. And then inside we're writing our code, which is return this string over here. So now when you run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will still give the same result as hello world. But this has a shorter syntax than writing function and then blah blah blah. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. It gets shorter if the function only has one statement and the statement returns a value. You can remove the brackets and the return keyword. So as you can see over here, here's a much shorter and simpler version of the arrow function where we only have one statement which will return, and that statement will return a value. So then we can skip the return keyword over here too. So that's why we have just written parentheses, the arrow, and then hello world. And if we compare it to the previous arrow function, as you can see, is a lot shorter. So now let's do this example using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see, here's an example from the PPT. So as you can see over here, this is indeed a function. Yeah, because it's an arrow function, it's very short, you may not think that it is a function. But this indeed is a function. So now if we display it, it will still give the same result as you can see over here. But if we have multiple statements, this will not work and we have to write the regular arrow function seen in the previous example over here. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Note, this only works if the function has only one statement. If it has multiple statements, then you need to write the default arrow function. If you have parameters, you pass them inside parentheses. So as you can see over here, here's the arrow function with parameters. So we have written hello equals val in parentheses. So this is our parameter, and then the arrow function hello plus val. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see, here is our arrow function from the PPT. And over here we're calling the function hello and we are given the value of universe. So if you run this using Chrome, our result will be hello universe. And we can even change it to hello some random name such as Joe. And now we need to run this using Chrome. As you can see, the text changes to hello Joe. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. In fact, if you only have one parameter, you can skip the parentheses as well. So, as you can see over here, here's the arrow function without the parentheses. So, it would just look like this without the parentheses. So, this is similar to this example over here, but we have only one parameter, so we can skip the parentheses over here. So, now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So, as you can see over here we have an example where we have declared a variable called hello, and then we are reassigning that variable to an arrow function. So as you can see over here we can also write parentheses and it will be just fine. But to simplify it more, we can take out these parentheses and write like this. So, and this will still be the same result as the before example. So if we run this in Chrome, as you can see, it will say hello universe. And then we can edit this over here to say hello world. So now if you run this using Chrome, as you can see, the text has changed. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Browser support. The following table defines the first browsers with full support for arrow functions in JavaScript. So as you can see, Chrome 45, Edge 12, Firefox 23, Safari 10, and Opera 32 all above support arrow functions in JavaScript. So now let's go to our second chapter, which is JavaScript Classes. ECMAScript 2015, also known as ES6, introduced JavaScript Classes. JavaScript classes are templates for JavaScript objects. JavaScript class syntax. Use the class keyword to create a class and always add a method named Constructor. So, as you can see over here, here's the syntax, where we create a class and give the class name, and then we use curly brackets, and inside we use a method called Constructor. We pass in some parentheses and write the code to be used as a template. So as you can see over here, here's an example of all of this filled out. So as you can see, we have created a class called car, and in the constructor, we have given some parameters, name and year. So as you can see over here, we have referred it as this. So this means this class over here. So this dot name equals name, which is a parameter, and this dot year equals year, which is this parameter over here. The example above creates a class named car. The class has two initial properties, name and year. A JavaScript class that is not an object. It is a template for JavaScript objects. Using a class. When you use a class, you can use the class to create objects. So as you can see over here, here's an example. We are using this class over here to construct objects. So const my car equals new car, fraud, and 2014, and const my car 2, new car, Audi 2019. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you can see over here we have an example where we have a class and its constructor and parameters and its code block. And now over here we're using this constructor to create objects. So we are using it 2 times here to create new objects. So that's why we have used a new keyword over here and car and passed in the parameters. So now we're using mycar.name and mycar.name over here. So this will in turn give fraud and Audi. So now when we run this using Chrome, as you can see, I was correct. It says fraud and Audi. And then we can use it multiple times too. Car, my car 3, and even my car 4, and so on and so forth. And this still will be the same. But still, JavaScript won't give an error as because classes are used as templates, so they can be used as many times as you want. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. The example above uses the car class to create 2 car objects. The constructor method is automatically called when a new object is created. The constructor method. The constructor method is a special method. It has to have the exact name constructor. It is executed automatically when a new object is created. It's used to initialize object properties. If you do not define a constructor method, JavaScript will add an empty constructor method. Class methods. Class methods are created with the same syntax as object methods. Use the class keyword to create a class. Always add a constructor method, then add as many number of methods you want. So as you can see over here we have a class and then its name, and then we have a constructor and method 1, method 2, and method 3. And we can go on and on. We can go on and on and add as many methods as we want. So as you can see over here's an example of us using a method called age in the class called car. So as you can see over here, everything over here is same except the method over here called age. So first we have declared a variable called day and given it the value of new day. Then over here we're returning date.get full year minus this dot here. So that will in turn give the age of the car. And now over here we're using the document.getElementById method, and we are adding a string to mycar.age plus myyears.old. And over here we are using this class over here to construct a object called mycar. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So as you see over here, we have written a new class called car. We have written the constructor and then our method. And then over here, we're creating an object using this class and named it fraud and given it the values of fraud, which is name, and year, and 2014, which is year. And then over here, we're calling car.age and adding 2 strings to it. So now if you run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will say my car is 10 years old. And if we change this to something like 1999, and now when you run this using Chrome, it will say my car is 25 years old. And if you write something like this, and now when you run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will go in the negatives because it is bigger than our current date. And if we go something like negative over here, and now when you run this using Chrome, as you can see, it will go more than our current year. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. You can set parameters to class methods. So as you can see over here, we have our class called car, and then over here we have a constructor and age. And over here we're using age and passing the parameter as x. And over here everything is pretty much the same. So now let's look at this example using Visual Studio Code. So now as you can see over here we have our class, and then over here in our method we're passing a parameter called x, and we're returning x minus this year. Over here we're declaring a variable called day and giving it the value of new date, and we have declared another variable called year and giving it the value of date.get full year. And then we're using over here const my car equals new car, fraud, and 2014. So that is name and year over here in these parameters. And over here we're using document.getElementById method. We're getting the ID of demo and updating the HTML content inside too. My car is plus mycar.age, and then over here we have written year plus years old. So now when you run this in Chrome, as you can see, it will say 10 years old, and this is completely same to this over here. So now let's go back to the PPT to learn more. Browser support. The following table defines the first browser version with full support for classes in JavaScript. So Chrome 49, Edge 12, Firefox 45, Safari 9, and Opera 36, all and above support JavaScript classes. So folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to support us, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, kaviwebdesigns. Keep on watching our videos and show some love. Have a nice day.